Hey! All of the parts have arrived. We can now start fixing the bike. During my little accident where the chain ripped, not only did the chain rip, but it also caused damage on some other parts of the motorcycle. Namely, that is the crankcase. As you can see, there is a huge tear in it in, well, 3 ways. And there's also a part that I can't quite figure out what it's called. It's kind of an enabler for the clutch, and it's made of aluminium. It's a part that just kind of sticks on there. I was able to find that exact replica from another original XJ6, which is great. However, there is one part of it, one small piece, that is supposed to be on the crankcase itself. It no longer is, because it broke off. So I'm going to attempt to glue it back on with aluminium glue and hope that it's not too vital of a part, since there are 2 other sticky thingies that are supposed to, you know, keep it in place. But we'll see how well that works, because I think it'll have to be quite precise, and yeah, we'll see. And the tear in the, well, little hole or tear in the crankcase, I am also going to glue that shut, because as far as I'm concerned, nothing on the inside is damaged. So it should be fine. How do I know this? Well, because we just removed the oil and checked whether there is any silver specks or anything like that in the oil, and there wasn't. So yeah. So first step, fix and glue those 2 parts. Also, there was another part that broke. It was the clutch rod, I think it is called. It is not really broken, but it is bent. So I got the exact same thing from another original XJ6, and luckily it was the exact same part. So that should be a relatively easy fix. Second step is doing a complete oil change. I am using this oil from Motul 10W40 because it's not quite the same brand, but it is previously this bike had 10W40, and I've heard that this is apparently some of the best oil that you could use for this motorcycle specifically. It's just what people are recommending, so that's what I'm choosing. And also this filter, because it came in a set, and yeah, it's the correct size, so why the hell not? And then lastly, I will be doing the chain replacement with the 2 sprockets, the larger one in the back and the one in the front, because this bike has more than 20,000 kilometers on it, at which point you're supposed to do a change of the chain anyways. I don't know if that has ever been done before. The previous owner doesn't know whether it has been done before, but I mean, it's broken anyway, so I do have to change it, and you're supposed to change the sprockets as well. So that is the third and last step, and hopefully once I finish that, the bike will be up and running again. So let's start fixing this damn bike. I kicked things off with a trusty brake cleaner and a rag, wiping away as much grime and dirt as possible. The goal here was to get a clear look at the damage on the crankcase. After some thorough scrubbing, it became clear that in addition to the large dent, there were several hairline cracks that would need attention. Once I had a good view of the damage, I turned my attention to the broken piece from the clutch cable to clutch rod connector, as mentioned earlier. So there's a couple of things that are problematic about this piece that broke off from the crankcase itself. First of all, you just saw me struggling to try and put it back on the way it came off. It came off this way, so theoretically it looks quite clean, but if I try to put it on, it just does not quite fit. And that's a problem, because if it's, you know, slightly skewed, this part will not go on it properly, or at least straight. And I mean, this is what it's supposed to look like, yeah? So this part goes on the on the engine or on the crankcase like this, and it goes through this part, yeah. So there are 3 bolts that go, one goes through here, one through here, and one through here. These are the longer ones. They go in here and into the crankcase to fasten against it. So there are 2 that will definitely work. It's just this 3rd one that, yeah, doesn't have quite the same hole, because it is supposed to be attached to this part that is, well, that fell off. And it's strange to me because this is the only part that comes out of the crankcase. And, well, I don't know, in a way I guess it protected the rest of the crankcase from getting more damage. But in theory, I'm thinking that maybe just these 2 holding everything together should be enough. I don't know.
For now, I decided to set that issue aside and focus on the more urgent problem, the hole in the crankcase. To fix this, I'm using a specialized 2-component aluminium adhesive. But as with any good repair, preparation is key. And that's where one of my favorite tools comes in, the Dremel. This cordless rotary tool is incredibly versatile, and you've probably seen me use it in previous videos. Whether I'm grinding tight areas, sanding hard-to-reach spots, cutting metal, or polishing fine details, the Dremel is my go-to. With a variety of attachments, it's perfect for small precision jobs. In this case, I'm using a rough grinding attachment with a triangular tip to carve into the crankcase surface. The goal is to roughen it up so the glue bonds well, ensuring no oil seeps through later. Equipped with patience and a steady hand, I carefully carved out the holes and cracks. With the surface prepped and spotless, it was time to seal the crankcase. The aluminium glue I'm using consists of a base liquid and a fast-acting hardener. After thoroughly mixing the 2, I applied a generous amount to fill the hole and any cracks I could see. The consistency was just right, moldable but thick enough that I wasn't worried about it dripping inside the crankcase. And here's the result so far. To ensure the glue has enough time to fully bond and cure, I will let it harden overnight. In the next video, I'll be replacing the broken parts and doing a complete oil and oil filter change. Once that's done, I'm hoping to start the engine and see how well the glue holds up, as well as check the condition of the gearbox and internal components. Without the engine running, it's impossible to determine if there's any internal damage, so that'll be the real test. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.